Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We are learning Mishna Pesachim, Perek Dalet, Chapter 4, Mishnah Beis, Mishnah 2. All right, so just a quick introduction. This year in Eretz Yisrael is the Shemitah year. Every seventh year, the land in Eretz Yisrael has to not be worked on, and anything that grows wild, that grows from things that from seeds that were planted before the Shemitah year, has specific laws. And one of those laws is the following. It's called the mitzvah of biur, removal, which means that Shvius produce that was picked may be stored in one's home only as long as some of that kind is still available to the beasts of the field. Once a particular type of produce is no longer available to the beasts of the field, that species becomes forbidden to keep, must be removed from storage and declared ownerless. Okay, that's the mitzvah of biur. If this specific type of produce is available in the fields, you can keep it in your house. Once it's not available in the fields anymore for the animals, then you have to take it out of your house and declare it ownerless. This doesn't work uniformly. It works by district, works by area. You have certain things that become not available in certain areas earlier than in other areas. So it all depends on the area where you are. And our Mishnah is going to be dealing with the following case. Kayetzibai, similar to what we said before, similar in the sense that we're going to give another example of where you have to basically take upon yourself the stringencies of where you came from and where you are going to. Hamelech Peresh Shvius, one who is transporting the produce of the Shemitah year, Mimakim Shakalu, from a place where they have finished, they've been used up, Lamakim Shalaiko, to a place where they haven't been used up. That means where you come from, these fruits are no more available in the fields. Therefore, from where you are, these things have to be removed from your home. But you're going to a place where they are still there, they have not been used up, they're still available. So for the locals, for the people of that area, they don't have to remove the fruits from their homes and declare it ownerless. Or you're transporting produce from a place where it hasn't been used up, from a place where you don't have to remove it from your house, to a place where they have been used up, to a place where the people who live there do have to remove it from their homes. So what do? In either case, chayiv levar. In either case, you're obligated to remove it from your home, meaning you've come to this new place, those fruits that you have in storage, you have to basically take them out of your domain, or wherever you are, and render and declare them ownerless. The explanation is the following. From the point of the letter of the law, the fruit status should follow where they grow. Where they grow, that's what they should follow. And therefore, let's say in the case where it's the place where you're coming from, meaning where they grew, this species is not available anymore. It was used up in the fields. So it really doesn't matter where you took them. At the end of the day, you follow where they grew. And since you follow where they grew, if there's a chiyav biur, if you have to remove them from your homes where they grew, which is where you came from, even now in the blue place where you are, you have to remove them. That's the din. That's according to the letter of the law. Now, but in the case where you came from a place where they weren't used up, means in a place where people don't have to remove them. Now you came to a place where this species was used up, where the people do remove them. Well, according to the letter of the law, you only have to follow where they grew, which would say that you don't have to remove them, but you're in a place where they do remove them. And we learned yesterday, right, that you shouldn't do different than the locals, so not to create conflict. So if everybody else is taking this species out of their homes and rendering it ownerless, and you're sitting there at your table, eating away, right, the people are going to say, hey, you can't do that. That's going to cause conflict. And therefore, there you have to take on the stringency of where you went to, which is that even though according to the law, you don't have to remove them from your house and render them ownerless, because this is what's happened to the species in this place, you also have to do so. Now, the next part of the Mishnah deals with a different case. And the different case really here is the following. That you brought, it's really not relevant to this case of moving it from place to place from the way I see it. But the case here is that what you brought from your place from where you came from, okay? You went ahead and you brought 3 different types of vegetables that were all pickling together in the same barrel. You put them all in vinegar. You took 3 different types of produce. You put them in one barrel. You pickle them together. And this is what you brought over. And what happens is that of these 3 things, some of them become unavailable quicker than the other ones. Mm-hmm. So you basically have a mixture of the vegetables, again, all in one thing, where some of them have to be removed, some of them you're obligated to do bi'aran, and some you're not. So the Tanakama holds that if they're all together in one thing pickling, then as long as you have let me read it here, okay, right. As long as you have one of those 3 things that are still available, even if the other ones aren't, you don't have to remove it. That's Tanakama holds. In order, once you put them together, you pickle them together, you put them together like that, then to have the obligation to remove them, to do beer on them, is only going to be if all of them now are unavailable. But if some of them are still available, even if one of them is still available, then you don't have to do it on these specific ones that are in the barrel with it. And the Bartanura points out that we know this from the fact that the Tanakama, when he gave his case, he said, right. He says the wording is somebody who moves produce of Shvius from place to place, from a place where they finished to a place from a place that they were used up to a place they weren't used up. He used a plural form. Mm-hmm. He didn't need to. When he's talking about specifically, what you have to do, he could have used a singular form, and he could have said, if you're transporting fruits, so then if it's from a place where it has been used up, right, to a place where it has not been used up, that's what he could have said. The fact that he used a plural form alludes that he's not talking about that there's just one or one of the same. It's talking about where there's multiple of them. There's different ones. They're different ones together. And he says, nonetheless, if they are, and he talks about kalu, that they were used up, right? So that means that they all have to be used up. And then on that, Rabbi Yehuda says, we say to this person, say, go out and bring for yourself from this species, even you. And in the same way, if somebody else goes to the field and he finds it's not there, he now has to do beer on whatever's in his house. You have to do the same thing with your barrel of 3 different things. It doesn't help the fact that it doesn't help for the species that's not available anymore. It doesn't help the fact that it's together with the others. The others that are still available, you don't have to do beer on, you don't have to remove them. But the one that has already ended from the field, we say, hey, if you can't go to the field and find it for yourself, then you got to get rid of it. So the Rabbi Yehuda is saying that even in a case where you have 3 different things together, that is where there too, the fact that they're together doesn't help you. Whatever speech is not available anymore, you have to remove it and declare it ownerless. You got to do beer on it. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
Lag Sameach.
Did that make it?